This is Wale Life Coach Disu. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. TGIM. Thank God it's Monday. And what I want to do on Mondays, making no promises as to the consistency. I'm going to do my best to post videos as often as I can on Mondays that are motivational. There's something that John Maxwell once wrote. He wrote that, motivation is something that is based in that moment. It's not as long lasting as personal development or growth, which is more of like a process that brings lasting change. Although, I believe in the power of personal development because a lot of my videos, I want to challenge you, inspire you to personal development, to grow yourself, because I believe that nothing changes unless we change. However, I do believe that motivation is important because it's like that grease that, helps us to, lubricate the friction of life. Sometimes you go through life and there are just things that it's easier to overcome certain things, I believe, in motivation, and positive thinking. So I think that motivation is very important and is essential in that regard. So today I hope that what I talk about will inspire you. And I want to talk to you simply about a movie that my wife and I watched yesterday. A movie that was aired first publicly in 1993, I believe, but I hadn't watched it until yesterday. The movie's called Rudy, and it's spelled R-U-D-Y. So for sports fanatics and people that have been around and have watched that, if you haven't watched it in a long time, I would encourage you to pick it up. And just, if you need some inspiration, if you have never watched it at all and you need some motivation, it's a great movie based off of a true story about a young man who was counted out. Is a gentleman who had a dream, since he was, very young, to play football for a college team called Notre Dame. And, in the movie, it talks about the different obstacles and challenges that he faced before he could realize his dream. People counted him out because of his, his physical appearance, in terms of his physical or, athletic ability. He was not the right height, the right build, and then also his academically too. To go to that kind of college, you needed certain SAT scores, which are pre-examinational scores, like entry scores to help you enter, entry scores to go into college, to the right college or to that college in particular. So he never even did the SAT. So there are a lot of things that were that were against him. But I'm reminded of a gentleman who they had been saying that you can't run a mile in under 4 minutes, and I believe his name was Roger Bannister, and he broke that record. And since then, people have been breaking that record. So stories like that and stories like Rudy, it's not even just about the character, but it's about what it communicates to us. That if those people can do it, then perhaps my dream is possible. So that was one of the things that was very empowering about the story. Again, I would give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Just because at the ending, I think it ended a little bit abruptly for me. I like when, true stories, I like to find out, okay, what, where is this person now? And, of course, you can do what I had to end up doing, which is like research on my own and Google it and see that he's now a speaker, a motivational speaker. But, it would have been good to just see, at that point, maybe they didn't have that information, but to see where he was and what he had accomplished since the movie. But regardless, the movie is inspiring. My wife was saying that, we need to get it on DVD. I'm thinking of starting a DVD or a digital library where I can have movies like that. When I need to pick me up, it's a great thing to see real people doing things. So these are 7 things that I got from the movie because I was thinking to myself, why was this movie so inspiring anyway? And these are things that stood out to me. This is, of course, not an exhausted list. You might see some other things when you watch the video, but these are some things that stuck out to me. And the first one was this. He challenged the status quo, that told him that your dream was not possible. And that status quo was formed by his environment. It was sad to see that the people that should have been inspiring him were the same people that were pulling him down. The same people that one of my clients would say clipping his wings. The same people that were not for him or for his dreams. They wanted to be quote unquote realistic. One of the people was a teacher. Teacher actually called him a dreamer, and he says, his belief is that dreamers are not doers. And so because he was a dreamer, he didn't expect much from Rudy. He didn't think he would amount to anything. so much so that one time he said that, we're going to have a tour to the campus of Notre Dame. And this is something that this kid wanted to do all his life. So he wrote down the time. It was going to be on a Saturday. They were going to meet. They were going to meet at the bus. And the students that were interested to see the college could come. Well, there was a long line of students that were, they were marking them present. Who are you? Get on the bus. And when it came to his turn, this teacher looked at him and said, why are you here? And he says, because I want to go to the college. I want to see the college. He says, this is not a sightseeing tour bus. This is for people that actually want to go to the college because they feel they can go to the college. He was like, I want to go to this college. He actually excused himself from marking the roll call, gave the clipboard to someone else, and he says, okay, let me take you to the side, Rudy. And pretty much what he told him in essence was, be realistic, Rudy. I want to be candid with you. There are people that were built and made for, basically success or college. You're not just one of them, And what I thought about was, many times people have limiting beliefs that they enforce, or they try to subject us to, and place on our minds or on us to tell us what is possible for our lives. That's not the sad part. The sad part is when we start to internalize and accept those limiting beliefs for ourselves as what's possible, and as a result, we function, or we act based off of now these beliefs that someone else has told us, that we're not going to do this, you're not going to amount to much, you're not going to be nothing, this is where you're going to be, this is all you're going to accomplish in life. And it was sad to see that for a number of years, I think it was 4 or so years, he didn't do anything. He didn't go to college because of after that, he started working in a mill with his father and his brothers. Another thing that was another person that gave him a negative status quo was his brothers. There was, when you say, I want to play for these teams, they'll say you can't do it. His father, actually, there was a speech that his father gave him of, we are not the kind of people that go to college and amount to much. We'll have a good life, but we just can't have that. So challenge the status quo. People that tell you, you might have to separate yourself from people that have to tell you that you can't do something. So that's the first thing. That was something that I thought I was very powerful. The next one was, be clear about your dream. It was so amazing to see this guy knew what he wanted and what he wanted to accomplish. He says, I want to play football and I want to play for this college and I'm going to do it. So he was so clear, it was so vivid in his mind that, he knew and he prepared and he took the steps, and, he just knew what he wanted in life. So if someone came to you and said, what do you want? Could you answer that question? Do you have a clear mental picture about what you want? Do you have in your heart? Do you know what that promise is? Can you write it out? Can you be clear and vivid about it? So that was awesome to see that he kept saying it. He knew what he wanted. He didn't let the things around his surrounding, that said the opposite of what his dream was, to deter him for what he knew he wanted. The third thing was that he was tenacious. He was tenacious. He was persistent. Never quit. So many chances that he had to quit in the movie, he didn't. It was so wonderful to see. It took him a long time to get to where he wanted to get to. And I kept thinking in my mind, if he had quit somewhere in that process, would we have ever even heard of the movie Rudy? How many Rudys are out there, potential Rudys are out there that quit so long, somewhere in that process, so, before they were able to complete the whole process. And now we don't know anything about these people. So, never quit. There's a saying, if you're persistent, you'll get it. If you're consistent, you'll keep it. I love that. If you're persistent, you will get it. If you're consistent, you'll keep it. The next thing that I saw was he was prayerful. His faith was important. Sometimes you need to be able to go to someone higher than yourself. For those of you, that understand or believe this part, this is something that was in the movie. And I like that, I don't know if it was Hollywood or whatever, they didn't, overemphasize it, but I'm glad that they showed that. And when I looked at some of his other videos, it was clear he was a Catholic, in his faith. And it was clear that his faith, played a huge part in, in his ability to achieve his dream. The fifth thing that I saw was, do what you love. So I wrote, do what you love so the passion fuels you past the pain. You're going to go through things in life. Like I said, he had different obstacles, challenges. He was persistent. You're going to go through things regardless of what you're doing. So my thing, and I tell my clients this, just think about it this way. Why not do something that you enjoy doing? Why not do something that you love to do? You know, if you're gonna go through, because again, that motivation, that thing is, the passion of what you love to do is going to keep you going even when it's hard. It's going to keep you going. That dream is going to be something that excites you, that propels you. If not, you're going to give up, because it's not going to be something exciting. You know, when you face that hardship, you know, if you face that no, that, you know, that slammed door, that closed door, that opportunity that you thought was going to be it, you know, that, you know, amounts to nothing, you know, you're going to want to quit at that point. If it's not something that inspires you, you know, to come back again, to pick yourself up and say it's a new day and smile like nothing happened, like I'm going after my dream. So something that pulls you towards it, not something that you're pushing, you know, to. It should be something that's pulling you towards it. So that's another thing. Do something that you love to do. The sixth thing that I wrote down here was develop character. You know, it's been said that your talent can take you places that your character can't keep you. Develop character. I wrote here also that it will earn you respect also. You know, it's also earn you respect. You know, there are things that he had, because people are watching you. When you have character, people are watching you. Be surprised who is watching you, who's inspecting you. You know, you might feel like nobody's watching me. I'm not. The people that are watching you, watching what you do. You know, he displayed the character of going the extra mile. He expressed, you know, and he displayed the character of being consistent. And it was wonderful to see that when he was doing what he was doing, even when he wasn't being rewarded for it. You will see, you know, when he started playing, you know, even when he wasn't rewarded for it immediately, you know, ultimately he gained the respect of the entire team. And that was wonderful. But it wouldn't have happened if he wasn't consistent, if he didn't keep going the extra mile, you know, doing more than you're getting paid for, recognized for. So the seventh and final thing is surround yourself with good people. In the movie, there was a janitor, and later on, doing some research, I understand that the character of the janitor represented 3 different people in his life, but they couldn't, like, you know, expound or flush out the character of the 3 different people, so they just used one, and they just, you know, infused the character of the 3 different people into one character. So, but he had that. There was also a tutor, you know, a gentleman that helped him, you know, to discover that he was dyslexic. He had like a learning disability, and helped him, coached him to get better. There was also a priest that was like a mentor figure for him, you know. So he separated himself from his parents, well, I won't say from his parents, but from his family for the moment, because they were telling him, stay here, you can't do anything, be here, you know, just do what we've always done. And he had to say, no, that's not my dream, that's not what I want to do. Even his girlfriend at the time just wanted him to get married, settle down, and just do. He was like, no, I still have a dream to do more with my life. This is my dream. I've always had to be, you know, to do college football and play for this particular team. He was clear about that. So he had those positive people in his life that helped him. These are just 7 things. There were many more, but these are just 7 things I want to share. And hopefully it inspires you to say, let me just give this movie a go. You know, I'm sorry if this video is longer than normal, but I thought that those were, you know, keys that were important to share. And I was just thinking about it. Why did this movie, you know, stand out to me? What is it about this movie? And these are some of the things, and there are more things in that movie that I think are that will inspire you, you know, to just keep going. So I recommend it to my friend. I'm recommending it to you guys. I don't get any any credit. It's not like an affiliation or anything like that. So I don't get any fees or any rewards or anything. But I just, when I find something that I think is good, I'm going to try and suggest it to you guys. It was a good pick me up for us. So until next time, I hope something that I said, you know, added much value to you guys. Continue to live and work purposefully, and hope to see you all at the top. Until next time, this is Life Coach Wale, or Life Coach Tisu Wale, saying goodbye. Talk to you guys later. Bye.